24/7 Christmas music.
Halloween was yesterday.
Christmas!
Bring on the Christmas music.
Merry Christmas.
We're three kings with the diamond rings, bringing gifts coming from afar.
Do you think the cows were like, "Hey Jesus, welcome to Earth"? Or were they like, "Hey Joseph, this kid's laying in my dinner"?
It's non-stop Christmas music on Bright FM.
I am here since 3 days ago.
Like corruption can happen at anywhere.
Corrupt with petrol. I prevent it with none of corruption with petrol. I see them for hotel, I see them for market. And if you see them, you go know.
They say you get rid of them, then they embalm themselves, but me, I never go to that kind of place before.
Let's discuss the headlines and politics.
Going by the Senate Standing Orders of 2011 as amended, which is the genuine and authentic because it has never. I need protection. Will you shut up?
Get involved. Air your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic, weekdays, 8 a.m.
Get ready.
It's a very beautiful good morning to you. It's another beautiful morning right here on radio. Beautiful Thursday. Welcome to Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. My name is Ezigbo Victory, and we are excited to kick off the day with you as we dive into the top news stories making the headlines in today's newspapers. And of course, we would love to hear from you. So by all means, feel free to call in. Our call line is 0808-704-1217. That's our call line. Let's take it again. 0808-704-1217. That's our call line. Send us a text message on WhatsApp 0901-615-0614. That's our WhatsApp line. So you can either send us a text or a voice note. 0901-615-0614. So please, we're also on social media on Facebook and on YouTube. We're streaming live at Bright FM Abuja. By all means, please follow us on all our social media platforms and join in the conversation. Like we always say, your voice matters, and this show is all about giving you a place to lend your voice. So please settle in. Let's get into today's headlines together. Now, as usual, we're going to begin the conversation by just running through all of the headlines for this morning before we start taking it one at a time. Let's begin with this story right here on Punch newspaper this morning. And the headline reads, FG to invest $700 million in desert to power project. This one is on Punch newspaper. FG to invest $700 million in desert to power project. This one is on Punch newspaper. Now, moving forward to Vanguard this morning. Northern youths caution FG against new tax regime bills, says it's designed to ruin the region. This one is on Vanguard. Northern youths caution FG against new tax regime bill, says it's designed to ruin region. This one is on Vanguard this morning. Now, still on Vanguard on 2025 budget, Tinubu urges patience. as reforms yield results. Tinubu urges patience as reforms yield results. This one is on Vanguard this morning, and that's on the 2025 budget. Now, moving forward, still on Vanguard, FG plans to improve power supply with $750 million World Bank loan. This one is on Vanguard. FG plans to improve power supply with $750 million World Bank loan. This is on Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now, on The Nation, unemployment will be tackled head-on in 2025. Tinubu assures youth. This one is on The Nation this morning. Unemployment will be tackled head-on in 2025. Tinubu assures youth. This one is on The Nation newspaper this morning. Now, moving forward to leadership, FG introduces a proof of address system to enhance security planning. This one is on the on leadership newspaper. FG introduces proof of address system to enhance security planning. This one is on leadership this morning. Now let's move forward to Daily Post. Don't pass Tinubu's proposed 2025 budget. It's anti-people. PDP tells NAS, and this is on the Daily Post this morning. Don't pass Tinubu's proposed 2025 budget. It's anti-people. PDP tells NAS, and this is on Daily Post newspaper this morning. Now, still on Daily Post, Reps Committee recommends removal of NECO, 23 other MDAs from 2025 budget. This one is on Daily Post. Reps Committee recommends removal of NECO, 23 other MDAs from 2025 budget. This one is on Daily Post this morning. Now, still on Daily Post, civil servants seek amendment of pension law. This one is on Daily Post this morning. Civil servants seek amendment of pension law. This one is on Daily Post this morning, and that's all of it for the headlines for this morning. Please do not forget to be part of the conversation. It's always important to us that you calling and share your thoughts on the various headlines. And the number to call is 0808 704 1217 0808 704 1217 to send us a text or a voice note on a WhatsApp 0901 615 0614. Like I also mentioned earlier, we're streaming on social media on YouTube and on Facebook at Bright FM Abuja. Be sure to join in the conversation. When we come back, the conversation begins on Touch Your Radio. All right, welcome back and good morning one more time. Kebby is right here in the studio with me. Kebby, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank
How are
you
you?
for joining. I'm fine. Did you sleep good?
The cold is too much.
I mean, that's the season. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, let's begin with this conversation right here on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 2025 budget. Tinubu urges patience as reforms yield results. This one is on Vanguard. Now let's look into the main story. President Bola Tinubu presented the 2025 appropriation bill of 49.7 trillion naira to the National Assembly, assuring Nigerians of better days ahead. He stated that economic reforms introduced by his government have started yielding positive results, citing a 3.46% GDP growth in the third quarter of 2024. The president attributed the successes to the patience and resilience of Nigerians. Now, the 2025 budget prioritizes education, healthcare, and security with allocations of 3.52 trillion naira, 2.48 trillion naira and 4.91 trillion naira respectively. The budget also aims to consolidate policies to boost human capital development, increase trade and investments, and strengthen the economy. President Tinubu assured that the ongoing economic reforms would not be reversed, but rather strengthened to build on the gains achieved so far. Now, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, commended the President's efforts to rebuild the economy. They assured that the lawmakers would support the President's reform, particularly at the grassroots level. Now, the implementation of the 2024 budget will continue until June 2025. Good morning, Mr. Celestine. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Now, we're starting off this morning's conversation with, the 2025 budget. It has started coming up, in as much as we're also going to bring an expert to, sit on it a bit. But I think that one thing that is exciting me about this 2025 budget is that it prioritizes education, healthcare, and security. These are the three most important things that we've complained about in the past. We remember in the 2024 budget when people were, talking about how that the allocated budget to education, security, healthcare were not enough compared to what other countries, allocate to these sectors. But now we're looking at 3.52 trillion naira allocated to education. We're looking at 2.48 trillion naira allocated to the healthcare sector, and we're looking at 4.91 trillion naira allocated to security. Let me hear your thoughts on that one.
Well, I commend the president. There is a step in the right direction. The way he proved, especially on education, even though we are not there yet, because looking at how much allocated to education, is not up to 10%. We have about 49 trillion naira as a total budget, and we just have about 3-point-something trillion for education, which is less than 10% of the whole budget. But that is a step in the right direction, an improvement as against other years. We commend him for that. But our narratives always is not about allocating 3-point-something trillion.
Yeah,
it's about implementation. It's about following up the budget and making sure how is it going to be used, how is it going to be utilized. Is it not going to be flown into? You remember Kwara State governor recently, how he was being proved of about, I think, 100 billions. It's just one state. So we still pray that this president, this government, even though they have not shown any difference as to other administration, we pray that we see a difference in implementation of this budget.
Kirby.
Mr. Saleh said the same thing. Like, majorly just for them to implement it. It's not just by coming out to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and at the end of the day, they don't do anything towards that direction. Because looking at it is a good one. Education, security, it's a good one, because that's what Nigerians actually lament, and the poor education in Nigeria and the insecurity in Nigeria. So them coming out to invest more into those aspects that Nigeria is actually complaining is a good one. But the thing is that we know how Nigerians sometimes can be. They implement, they come out, they talk, they write it down, but they don't implement it. So if they can actually implement it, then it will go a long way for Nigeria to help us grow, most especially our education.
Especially education. If you tackle insecurity and give us a better education, Nigeria will be
fantastic.
Because once the education sector is moving well, then we are good to go.
Exactly.
And once insecurity is gone, then Nigeria is strong again as it was before, because that insecurity is affecting many sectors in Nigeria, and the education aspect is going down in Nigeria. So it's a good one.
Like I said earlier, we're going to have to bring in an expert to discuss this 2025 budget holistically, because in as much as we're saying, okay, we're commending the president, especially regarding the allocation for education, health, and security. There are some persons who have come out to say that this 2025 budget should should be halted, shouldn't be approved, because we would also need to look at some other sectors and how much was appropriated and why, people would want to come to say, okay, you know what, we don't understand this budget, it needs to be halted. But the president has also said that, regarding this 2025 budget, that Nigerians are assured of better days ahead. What can we make out of that comment, and do we believe in it?
Nigerians are assured of better days
ahead. Yes.
There is a saying in my language that a chick that will grow into a cock is known from the day it's hatched. This government has spent how many months in office? Are we actually seeing better days, or are we being plunged into undescribable hardship? And no matter how you cry, it seems they turn a deaf ear to it. A caller was asking the president to come. I have forgotten what he was asking the president to come and address, and I was laughing. I remember asking him, have he addressed a lot of other things that needed a president to come and speak to his people, that this is what I'm doing? Okay, he's saying we should be patient till when? So I just believe, but this government have stayed long enough to prove to us that they actually came for a change, that they actually came for, I think I've forgotten their slogan, for a reform. But just telling us that your policies, some people will come and say by 2026, some will say 15 years. So how do we see? I think at least you have stayed long enough to prove that truly your policies are here to better Nigerians. We should have seen a little improvement. Yes, okay. Instead of things going negatively by the day. Yesterday I was talking with somebody. We don't want to know how many families that are not sure of what to eat. As we speak today, I'm not talking of who are not sure of Christmas. Nobody is talking about Christmas anymore.
Nobody is talking about.
Walk around the street. By this time, years ago, walking around the street, you see the street glowing. Everybody is happy. Christmas is around the corner. Nobody is excited that Christmas is around the corner. Is that the better days we are expecting? So when the president is speaking, yes, it's good to make statements. It's good to make promises. But when we are making promises, at least let's see a little. Let's be backed up with action. Let's be seeing your moves, your actions, what we are doing. Okay. For instance, you are promising me that this hunger that's this your hunger, I will take care of it, and your pot is empty. You are not putting any food in the pot. So what are you going to use to take care of my hunger?
But the president has cited that the GDP has grown by 3.46%.
Which GDP?
Why did you ask it at the same time?
Is it the yesterday report that we saw that inflation has increased?
Has increased.
Or which GDP are we talking about? This is the thing I told yesterday, that if you ask this present administration what are they doing, they are going to list out things that they are doing.
Yet
now the
we are dying.
is listing that the GDP has increased, but we are not seeing any increment in Nigeria. The only increment we are seeing is the poverty,
prices of things getting higher, and money depleting in people's accounts.
I think this early week we were happy that Naira was increasing. Now it's going down.
It's going down, yes. I saw it this morning too.
What is the increment there? Sunshine.
That's a lot to take in, but another thing that the budget, is also going to sort out, that I think I'm also very interested in, is that they've said that the budget also, aims to consolidate policies that would boost human capital development. That's on one side. We're looking at increasing trade and investments, and these things are things that, if really the budget addresses, it would strengthen our economy.
I still come back to what we know. Yes, these are beautiful ideas. I said, in fact, there is no policy of this government that is not beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
Very, very beautiful ideas. But what of the implementation? And what of the timing? Timing and implementation are the two major factors that this government lack. They see beautiful policies somewhere, they want to copy it. Are you ready for that? What have you done? You see a beautiful house, you just want to bring the house. Have you laid? You know the kind of foundation it's sitting on. We don't even think about where we are. We just want to be like somebody who is. You are still lying down. You want to be like somebody who is running when you have not even stood up. So we need to know. We need to look at where we are at the moment. How do we get ourselves ready for where we want to go? Then when you start taking such actions, laying the foundation, then we know you are serious. Not just jumping into policies. Yet the policies are plunging us into more bitter hardship than you met us. So that's the only problem I see with this administration. Until they start speaking to the foundation, to the basics, then we know they are serious.
And you know, the reason why Nigerians will feel like, even in as much as what the president is saying is good, the reason why Nigerians will feel the pain is because we no longer trust them again. They have broken that trust that we have for them, that they want to make Nigeria great. So in as much as they come out with these beautiful ideas, all we will be like, is their normal thing, is their normal ways.
Why won't we feel it's their normal thing?
Because they have broken the trust that we have.
If you are coming with the promise of renewing our hope, and all the state election that has been conducted under you are worse than any other elections we have seen. So what hope are you renewing? So that's why I said a cock that will grow into a chick that will grow into a cock is known from the day it's hatched. So you just assumed office. You have declared a lot of beautiful policies. We need to see your footstep. There are things we call tests. The few elections this administration have conducted is just a clear litmus test that they have failed woefully about the intent and their intention for their beautiful policies. They will still go down the same way. It's unfortunate.
Now that the president has assured of a better days ahead, or looking at this budget, the implementation, coming in from, June 2025, which means that the implementation of the 2024 budget is still ongoing, so they are still trying to, finish up with the 2024 budget and all of that. But I mean, with what we're seeing now, the figures that we're seeing now, and just like we said earlier, if properly implemented, I don't think that's what the president is saying about Nigerians, assuring us of a Nigerian that is going to be better in the nearest future. I don't think he's very far from the truth. If, just like I said, the implementations,
this budget, we know. In fact, let me not dwell on it too much, but we know what happens. It was recently that because of one thing or the other, they were talking about buying a private jet for the vice president. SUVs for all this budget. Yes, no matter how beautiful it looks like, it will still be Nigerian budget.
What about the 2024 deficit budget?
What about the deficit?
The deficit that
so all this budget, when we generate, take loans and do this and make up the budget,
and don't forget 2025 too is also carried loan.
Yes, so we'll find out that at the end, misappropriation of fund will still
that's the issue.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like the major
misappropriation of fund will still bring us back to where we are, if not plunging us into deeper hardship than where we are at the moment.
I want to walk in with Mr. President in this now. He actually has a good idea, good plans,
beautiful,
very beautiful plans for Nigeria. But the way he's actually carrying it out, and the people that are
surrounding him
up, are not supporting him. Because you can see from every news we have taken here, you see how they are supporting. Is it the Minister of Finance? Is it who? Is it World Bank? You see, they just support the way he's carrying out the plan. No one is coming to tell him, no, Mr. Apart from the opposition party.
Yes.
No, all his party members are not actually telling him, or this subordinate, or
they are not telling him what is happening on the streets.
That this is what needs to be done. So that's why, in as much as we are complaining, as long as nobody up there is telling him this is what is happening, he's comfortable with what
I've said this on this platform. If like when in fact, when I lost hope on the possibility of this government giving us what they promised, was when the cabinet was announced. You look at the cabinet, you look at who is manning which ministry, and you just lose the hope you had. I remember in this country when, as in, which ministry will you mention that is not being manned by a technocrat of world-class recognition? But just mention a name. Just give me a name that you can think of that is actually placed where he will function maximally. No.
So now, another thing I would really want us to look into is that I just genuinely hope that after, I think that what they are saying is that the 2024 budget is going to continue until June 2025. You know, that when we elapse, you know, the usage of the 2024 budget, that they're going to take inventory and, you know, give us feedback about, you know, how it was used, right? Because when we look at the 2024 budget, that was like 28.7 trillion, and part of the top priorities also of the 2024 budget, we're looking at defense and internal security. These, I'm just trying to list out the priorities of the 2024 budget, which is 28.7 trillion naira, right? And we're looking at defense and internal security. We're looking at job creation. We're looking at macroeconomic stability, improved investment environment, human capital development, poverty reduction, and social security. The things I just listed now, like, are the priorities of the 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget.
Now, let me take one of the points and ask you, Victory. Job creation.
That's where I'm going to, because I just mentioned now that I hope that we take inventory to know if the 2024 budget actually achieved what it was supposed to achieve.
This is
all of these priorities listed. Did we go far with it?
Let's assume this. When they said June, it means the 2024 budget has run for 6 months. Abi, because I'm not an economist, I don't know how they measure their calendar year for budget. So because for them to tell us that this will run till June next year, it means they started somewhere around, after, yes, it's true, because the president was sworn in May. So let's say, so for 6 months into 2024 budget calendar year, how many jobs have we created?
The poverty rate in Nigeria, we've been complaining that it has increased more than ever.
You know, before
how did it reduce?
Before we won the Guinness Book Award of Poverty Headquarter of the whole world, and I think now we are even going out of the list.
Or is it
in the negative direction? So is it as in terms of poverty, Nigeria cannot. There is no other country that you can compare Nigeria to. That's why I'm saying we are going out of the list. We are getting worse. That even to be the poverty headquarter, I think somebody will overtake us. So we will be behind the poverty headquarter. So if these key areas were the main focus of 2024 budget, then I can say they are failing. If not, they have failed.
Let's take another story before we start taking calls. Now, this one is on the nation. Unemployment will be tackled head-on in 2025. Tinubu assures youth. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to tackling youth unemployment in the new year. He gave this assurance at a 3-day national conference on skill acquisitions, where he emphasized the need for synergy and maximizing resources to achieve this goal. Now, the conference, organized by the APC think tank, the Progressive Institute, aimed to enhance the capacity of the APC and contribute to the government's development agenda. The national chairman of APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, expressed optimism that the conference would help diversify the economy. The conference highlighted the importance of vocational skill acquisition in Nigeria, aligning with the president's commitment to addressing youth unemployment. The Director General of the Institute, Lanre Adebayo, commended Ganduje's role in promoting youth skill acquisition and his support for the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. If there's one thing that we've complained about time and time again, especially one of the factors contributing to insecurity in the country is unemployment. And we've said it time and time again that if there's employment in this country, if the Nigerian youth have things to do, the high level of insecurity that we're experiencing in this country would be on a minimal, especially because people are working, and they're being paid, and they are able to provide themselves with, their basic needs. I mean, survival is a big deal as far as Nigerian is concerned, and we've seen how that these days people are no longer even looking for what to wear or how to ball. People are just looking for what to eat, So the president, promising us that, the headline says head on.
No.
I mean, they're going to tackle unemployment head on.
My question is how.
So
how are you going to tackle unemployment?
We just talked about vocational skill acquisition here now.
Vocational, okay, now, fine. No, hold on. Okay, vocational skill acquisition. Now, fantastic, a good idea. What of those who have a lot to offer, who don't have any job to do? There are people that have a lot to offer. They don't need to acquire in any skill. They have a lot to offer, but they don't have money to buy employment. There are a lot of segments of the society that need people to work. Mr. Steve said something very important yesterday. I was expecting the government to even be looking in that direction. It's not to tackle unemployment. Is not just to say vocational study. No,
skill acquisition.
Create the job, build industries. There are Nigerians who can work in any capacity in any industry. Build industries. Thank you.
Amount of people
that were being employed then. Talk about somebody the other day. Somebody mentioned Benue State. Do you know how much Benue State will be making if we have confectionery industries in Benue State?
There's also a place that Mr. John also
mentioned. There are lots of other places that, if this government is a serious government that actually want to tackle unemployment, focus on developing or revamping some of those industries, and it will absorb half of the unemployed youth.
All right, I think we should open our phone lines right now. 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Mr. John calling from Otako.
Mr. John from Otako, good morning to you.
Good morning. Mr. Sala, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Welcome.
First, you will buy credit, you know the collect change. You understand me?
I understand you, my brother.
You just say, you did now, Mr. Sala, you married 3 wives. And one day for Sokoto, one day for Kogi, and one day for Nigeria.
Okay.
If they quarrel and you they live for Abuja, if they quarrel, or something they happen to the one way there for Sokoto, you go travel, go there.
You go travel, go Sokoto now, yes.
And if anyone something they happen for the one for Kogi, you go travel.
You go travel, go Kogi, yes.
The president, now they our father. You don't ever travel one day, then with waiting they happen for East. Make I go East.
I go see for myself.
Make I stand. Call all the leaders of East. Then they talk to them as a father. Yaradua may so rest in perfect peace. When Niger Delta they do his own.
Exactly.
Yaradua went to Niger Delta.
He went to what? Exactly.
With you know what years they say he go by himself.
He won't see him by himself.
He won't see him by himself. You understand me? But this one, you want to do this one, they won't put money for this one, they won't put money. You know why they go sharp sign the budget? Because the money now within them they go cycle the money.
Of course now.
The school what did they talk say loan?
Education.
Education loan where they say they go to collect. How many people don't collect them?
How many people will go reach?
Not the risk. How many don't collect them? Because the procedure, you if you work out for the procedure finish, your shoe go chop. You know that they go just talk the way we say the thing go favor them. We don't need anything from them. More than give us permanent light.
Simple.
Tackle the insecurity for us. Even though not tackle insecurity, if they give us permanent light, that light alone na security be for us. Because if light they on steady, anybody where they do even know they like where light is.
Exactly.
Even though not give us army for us, if light they steady, everybody put a gym bomb for a street, for a house. You don't secure us more. Because now God the guide.
Now God the guide us, not true.
You understand me? But this one they go say they won't carry money go here, they won't carry money go here. The money not they touch the masses. 30 ways stand on its own. Talk say if Nigeria like make them complain, say he no go revise, he no go change the mind. For the fuel subsidy, say now so it go be. What you got they expect? Say this education, money go touch education. The Minister of Education, what he study for school? See, Minister of Education is supposed to be a teacher.
Yes, it's supposed to be an educationist.
Anywhere where they put them, he's supposed to be a teacher. Either they find a secondary school teacher, give her that minister, so that he go understand how he did. Okay, president go win election. Now a cabinet member go carry surround himself. If they want you to do it right, as president win election, go say make everybody submit his CV.
Exactly.
Everybody submit your CV. If you want to be a minister, submit your CV. Then he go sit down on his own, call them, screen them. Then select who you want to select. Because the way when the president they do things now for APC, not for Nigeria. Okay, see the way they say chop money for Kano State. Now the head of APC, Akpabio. Now the third in Nigeria. The president took off. Okay. Then what do we expect? No, make we see that check up. You don't ever hear say NFTC come out employment, say that they do employment.
Not at all.
You don't ever hear say CBN say that they do employment. You don't ever hear say Inland Revenue they do employment. Then wait till they talk now.
So people know they retire there.
No. You don't ever hear say ECOWAS they do employment. My brother, now what you go see that check? See, I dey beg Nigerians, make we keep religion aside. Though. We should just keep religion aside and face the reality. We should love ourselves. Because these big men, they love themselves. We, the poor masses, we should come together and love ourselves. Muslim go enter mosque, waiting they pray, na Allah. Christian enter church, waiting they pray, na God. The translation of Allah for Muslim, for English, na God.
Yeah.
So now one God they pray for. Make we keep the differences aside. Because election go soon come now, they go give you 2,000 naira. My brother, for how many years we don't suffer? 2,000 naira, what you don't do? They talk about employment. My brother, no be how if that money come for employment, where they want put out, what they want employ?
Please round up, Mr. John.
My sister, you know, say yesterday I tried to call. You people did not pick my call.
So sorry about that.
You understand? When I give me small time. You understand me?
Go ahead, Mr. John.
Employment. How they want to make the employment? If you secured everywhere, investor will come in. Before my dad died, my dad worked in UTC. You understand me? From UTC, before he now started working in Ibro Hotel, Ibro called him the governor of Kogi State, and he was working there. He's the one doing their maintenance. You understand me?
Yeah.
Now, all these things that we are talking about, there is different. There is Michelin. Where is Michelin in Nigeria now? There is Peugeot. Now, if we have various types of jobs, when my dad retired from UTC, many companies are calling him to come and work, but my dad refused. But this one, there is no job. That's why a white man can do anything whatsoever he wants to do to you.
Yeah.
China will slap a Nigerian. A Chinese man will say a Nigerian lady should be sleeping in the kitchen on top of thighs. You understand me? So the name you call your dog, that is what people will call it.
Yeah.
The way you use your bucket in your compound, that is the way your neighbor will use the bucket. Because our leaders did not value us. That's why when you travel to outside countries, the people there, when they look at your passport, they will say you are in Nigeria, park one side first. Because our leaders did not value us. That's why see when a U.S. citizen talk in somewhere, you will see the kind of value they place in that one life. They will come and pick the person. The US citizen will not come to Nigeria airport now. They will say you should park one side. It's not possible.
Yeah.
You go even first you where in Nigeria enter. You understand? Now our leaders, now then put us where they put us.
Let's round up, Mr. John.
Because if they give us value for our life and as a citizen, Nigeria will move forward. So God will help us.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, for your contribution. I appreciate you for that one. I think that there's so much to say regarding the 2025 budget, but I think we should just take more calls before we continue. 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Mr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing, Mr.
Fine, thank you.
Okay. Your budget has been presented.
Yes.
Very sweet budget. For me, if I may suggest, it should bring in technocrats and professionals as ministers and sack all this one so that they can implement that budget the way you are talking about. Because with this present minister, I don't see any changes. Every day you budget, like you rightly say, what are we seeing even in a year? What implementation advancement are we seeing?
Have we seen?
Job creation. In the United States, every month they value their president, how many jobs they have created in every month. Go and find out. So here, you just announce it. We don't see any job. We don't see any number of jobs. Okay. Can they tell us that the government has been able to create even 100 jobs in the whole of 1 month? It's not possible.
It's not possible, yeah.
And we have not heard anything about that. They just lump up everything. You know, this is budget for education. Will it stop strike? That huge amount.
Nice question.
The budget for defense. Are we safe? All these years, they keep budgeting huge amounts. Yet we are still where we are. And it's going to be like that. I'm not trying to pray for them that it should be like that, but that's what it has been over the years. Somebody was saying on program yesterday, they have bought so many jets to fight who? Those jets are to fight who? Are we in war? The answer is no, just insurgency. And banditry. They are bringing in billions of dollars of what do you call it? Jet fighters. Are we not ashamed that our police men and women are here? They cannot secure us, but half of them are securing senators and House of Rep members and ministers, putting their hard parts for their wives. So we have a problem. 44 point something trillion. That's huge. That's big money.
That's huge.
You talked about custom revenue and FRIs. Where does that money go? We don't know.
We don't know, sir.
Our roads are bad. You are prioritizing Calabar Coastal Highway, Calabar Lagos Highway, and one of the other ones going to the north. When our own internal roads here
are
not good enough, they are terrible. You can't use them. My sister, maybe I will call again for another topic.
Thank
for
you
this very
so
one.
much. Thank you so much, Mr. Steve. Now, you can still call in because we're still taking calls. 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning.
It's Obasanjo from Omali.
Good morning, Mr. Obasanjo. How are you this morning?
Hi. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Abuja.
Good morning.
Hey, plenty things. Thank you. Uncle them in the studio. God bless your heart.
Bless my brother.
Thank you. So, we will manage Nigerian like that. The way we see it, other callers has been called, talked about the good things. Like the last caller used American. We use plenty country. The statistic is there. You know, Nigerian, see, all this what is it called, polio. You see, it's from American. The support is from American. Every child in the house, the Americans has know the statistics of every child in Nigeria, but your government does not know every child in Nigeria.
Our government, Mr. Basanjo.
Yes, our government does not know every child in Nigeria. America know every child that has sickness of types of sickness in Nigeria, but our government does not know. That is why the statistic of my community, they don't know. The statistic of Niger State, the only assumption every day, why a country will be like that? Assuming approximately we are more than 200. See, it's English, una they speak English. So just approximate, say, over 200 million Nigerians. Kai, it's a slap on our face. Budgeting from this budget to another budgeting. Where have you put in place? The last year budget, where is it, please? I am asking question. Where is that budget? Which kind of work that we see in that budgeting? We're talking about education. Kai, I don't want to mention some things. Why? Because if you are listening to, what makes us we are listening to news is that we want to achieve something. We want to grow better. Maybe tomorrow we'll be part of that leadership. We don't know. That is why we usually listen to the news so that we can chip in, we can say something, one or two things. But issue of Nigeria, a huge of that budget will come to education, the health, the security. In other countries, you don't see military around anywhere. You only see them in the coastal area. But our military today, you see them with the House of Reps. You see them with the senators. You see them with the minister. What carrying a military personnel to work with minister? The duty of a military personnel is to stay in the coastal areas to safeguard the country. They should not allow enemy to enter the country. All of them are being part of the enemies of the country. You see them moving with the senator. What consigned a military with the senator for crowd Saboda Allah? Where is that done? When they travel to American as a chief security officer, if you travel to American, have you seen so? Have you watched Donald Trump or Joe Biden with the military? They are working with him. You only see SS and the FBI and other things, other security, big security people. But you don't see military following him. Unless when you want to travel to another, the spies will go and spies everywhere. They have located, they have seen what is happening. That is why whether in his cabinet, they will see what is doing. All the make calls that he usually make calls, when they found one or two things that he's making calls, they will sanction him. That in Nigeria, everybody is packing money. All this budget that you see today is the budget of the big men, not the poor ones. All we have been talking, all our school has been dying. Our health care has been dying. Our what is it called? Our roads are bad. Security bad. Agriculture bad. That is why we are buying a mudu of rice. How much? Which you can go, I can boldly say, I will bring a bag of rice to you from village in those days. But now, a village is a beggar too today.
Please round up, Mr.
God bless Nigerians. We pray for the good governance. So they should implement, implement. We don't believe them. We don't believe them. Pata, we don't believe them. I don't know how the Mr. President will come up on board and say we should. It's a budget of hope. Last year, he said, let the poor breathe. The poor are not breathe. So he's using another language today. It's a budget of hope. Another hope of we don't know why, because it's invisible. We don't see it. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Mr. Basanjo.
Well, in fact, there is nothing else to say. Just like what Mr. Steve have said, See, we know what to do. But with what we are seeing, with the current crop of ministers and cabinet members surrounding the president,
people don't have trust.
We don't have hope. Not even trust. We don't have hope.
Sorry, let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, your name and where you're calling from. Mr. Vincent, is that you?
Yes, Vincent from PJ.
Okay, Mr. Vincent, please go ahead.
Nigeria. Yeah. This issue of I wanted to first, because yesterday I heard see transport. I'll first start on this transport issue. I don't blame these transport companies, because if the price of fuel was yesterday we talked about police collecting. I don't blame police. I don't blame the transport company. People talked about this internet fraudsters yesterday. I don't even blame them, because everybody now for Nigeria they do waiting they see use chop. Cause this country, if it's that these are our policemen now. Let me say an average policeman now, the policeman now is earning maybe 400,000 monthly or even 200,000. The police go there they collect, they ask for 500 or they ask you for. So that's why I don't even blame these policemen now on the road that are asking for money. And there's something that Mr. Celeste said today about. There's something that he said about his job opportunities like there's a friend of mine when I finished school. I finished school 6 years ago. There's a friend of mine. This guy is very smart. This guy was one of the smartest people I knew in school then. He can even speak Chinese. Yes, imagine someone that he studied Chinese language in school. He came out with 2-1. But now, what is guy doing now? He's into internet fraud.
That is it.
Cause with everything where he studied, with all the book, with all the school, everything that I went to, someone that can speak 2 languages, speak Chinese, nothing in commerce, no job, nothing. He couldn't get any because all this in Nigeria now, without knowing someone, nowhere where they go.
Exactly.
It's like sabi everything, everything we want, without that connection, nothing. So what do you want me to do again? He has to eat. So I don't blame people now doing anything that they are doing in this country just because if our government was reliable, if our government we are paying people well, all this one collecting money for this one, all this thing no go dey. So I don't even.
Thank you. I understand. Thank you.
You
know that even it's also in this country that overqualification is a problem.
It's a problem. You know, one thing I want to take out from what he said.
Yeah, because he used his friend as an example. My friend, that I worked with at when I was working in a radio station in Kaduna. She has done her masters and everything. She said that before she got that job, some of the places that she, put in her CV, told her, you are a master's holder. We can't pay you. So being overqualified is also
a problem.
You can be unemployed
because you are overqualified.
For being intelligent, for being smart, for being overqualified. And I mean,
do you know how many places that, as in, at a point when I was looking for a job, do you know how many places, as in, after the interview, somebody that will tell me, will indirectly tell me, guy, they know these people don't fee pay. As in, straight up.
We just hope
these
that
people know
what the president has said about creating more jobs in 2025. We're just really hopeful that it's going to be pretty feasible. Let's see if we can touch one more story before we go on a quick one now. PDP has come out to tell NAS not to pass Tinubu's proposed 2025 budget. And still on Daily Post, an analyst in Abia has also come out to say that the budget projections are unrealistic. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have to bring in, somebody to come and, to really sit on this budget so that we can understand it properly. But again, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has strongly opposed the proposed 2025 appropriation bill, describing it as anti-people. According to the party spokesperson, Mr. Debo, it says the president's budget address lacked substance, relying on unsubstantiated economic statistics and false promises. Now, Mr. Debo argued that the budget failed to address pressing issues such as insecurity, economic stagnation, and poverty. The PDP criticized President Bola Tinubu's claims that the budget would trigger prosperity for Nigerians in 2025, stating that it made no meaningful provision for the real drivers of national economy. The party also expressed disappointment that the budget did not include strategic provisions to reduce cost of essential goods and services such as fuel, food items, and electricity tariffs. Instead, the PDP urged the National Assembly to exercise its legislative powers to revise the budget and prioritize the welfare of Nigerians. The PDP's call to action is a response to the president's presentation of a 47.96 trillion naira national budget for 2025 to the National Assembly. The party's opposition to the budget highlights the ongoing debate about the government's economic policies and their impact on the Nigerian people. The National Assembly's decision on the budget will be crucial in determining the country's economic trajectory in 2025. Now, still on Daily Post, a political analyst, Basil Abia, has said that the projections of the 2025 budget proposal presented by President Bola Tinubu at the National Assembly, they are unrealistic. Now, Daily Post recalls that President Tinubu, in his presentation to a joint session of the National Assembly on Wednesday, said that the budget aims to bring down inflation from its current 34.6% to 15% next year. Now, speaking to Channel Television Politics today, a few hours after President Tinubu's budget presentation, this analyst, Mr. Abia, said that it was impossible to reduce inflation to 15% next year when crude oil production is below 2 million barrels per day. And he said that the projections are unrealistic. And the most important thing I think the Nigerians should understand is what are the assumptions driving these projections. And we mentioned it earlier that some of the things that the presidents have come out to say, how do we measure it?
Exactly.
What is driving these projections?
What are the driving factors? You base your assumptions on prices of crude oil, on revenue projections, and all this. What are the factors driving the revenue? We talked about. I think before it is this morning we talked about the dollar, the exchange rate, naira growing strength for a few days and suddenly losing the strength. So these are the things. These are the realities that you should have addressed before your projections. I believe with Mr. Abia guy that all these projections are not realistic. And in fact, anyway, just like one of our callers said, these budgets are for the big men, because I'm not seeing us getting out of this mess anytime soon. With what I'm seeing with the body language of this present administration, there are no concrete action, there are no concrete blueprints to how to navigate us out of this mess.
Part of the job of the National Assembly is to sit on issues like this, go back and forth on
my dear,
deliberate on it,
forget about that,
and make sure that it's impactful to Nigeria.
When I lost my hope on National Assembly is when I started seeing Labour Party members defecting in preparation for 2027. The moment the House of Assembly is majorly composed of the ruling party, forget about their budget. Whatever the president presents, they must approve it.
Because even the Senate president, has commended the president's effort to rebuild the economy.
Exactly, because it is his party. So what do you expect?
So you think that, because the budget might not be in favor of Nigeria and it might be in favor of Nigeria House of Reps?
We say something against it? No. This budget, they have decided what to present even before the president prepared it. So whatever they present, it is the party, it is the big men, as the caller said. It is their own budget. So far it favors them, they pass it immediately.
Originally, the job of House of Assembly is to sit and discuss and look at the impacts and of how the budget will be on Nigerians originally.
Exactly.
But with the way things are happening in Nigeria and the way things are being silented in Nigeria, you see that they no longer have that time. They just come and read whatever.
They read whatever they present to them, and the heirs have it.
They come out, they just read that paper in their hand with the agbada, they just at the end of the day they say, those in favor say aye, the aye have it.
That is the point. So
it doesn't have it all the time.
Was it not here that we were I think I've forgotten the caller when we were talking about them approving loan in 48 hours, right?
Yes.
And we were asking what time
did you take to deliberate on this?
Sorry, let's take this one, Kevin, please. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abdallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May God continue to strengthen you.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, pertaining to the budget, it's a laudable budget. But, running costs of the government in the federation will take up to about 13 trillion naira out of the budget.
That is it.
Then come down to the security. Then education and health. So one thing I will say, I will applaud the budget in one way or the other, is that our voices are starting to be heard. That is the most important thing. But how can you build trust and confidence in the mind and heart of Nigerian people, so that they will know that the budget will actually see the light of the day? Then how can the budget be transparently implemented? And the president did not speak, he didn't spoke on this issue of corruption that has permeated the entire fabric of an average Nigerian man in the implementation of the budget. You see, social welfare also has been given a colossal sum. But still, we don't have to forget about the corruption in all ramifications. Now, it is not the budget presentation that matters, but the issue of implementation. And about 36.7 or thereabout of the budget will be debt servicing and others. So how can we grow with that type of thing? Now, the budget is going to be serviced by additional loans that will be collected, and the implementation will be from June, which is to say that all the borrowed money is still in progress now until that June, which is to say that even the issue of insecurity, education, health, and social intervention or social welfare, it will only come, we will start seeing the light
from June
of the implementation by June next year, 2025. And you people have hammered on the issue of revenue and this employment generation. In fact, they have stipulated that each and every ministry or parastatal or agency that is going to employ people, they should publish the notice of employment in the newspapers at least 2 or 3 times, in 2 or 3 newspapers, popular newspapers in the land. But are they carrying it out? One of the callers made mention of whether Central Bank of Nigeria, NNPC, and what have you have revenue, inland revenue and what have you, like these are not code of conduct. These are CAC. These are offices that register companies in Nigeria, whether they have ever published their recruitment exercise for people to go and apply for employment. So these are the things. All of these things that I am mentioning in the past and now is corruption that has taken over these things. Because this minister, National Assembly members, and what have you, they have their own people that they send secretly if there is any employment. So even if announcement or the publication or notification is done to the public, it's just an aftermath. The recruitment or employment has already taken place secretly. So that is what is happening. And it's corruption that has brought this. Now, if we don't leave corruption from the board, it has affected even the security, where security budget is not audited by the federal government. And you see, this lack of employment made even Lakurawa to gain ground in Sokoto and other parts of the northwestern states.
Niger.
So that is why they offer them 1 million naira and a cow.
A cow.
Because they know that
500,000
these are what people want. Nigeria, we have to engage ourselves in fervent prayers. We will continue to rekindle hope, but let them do the right thing at the right time. God bless Nigeria and God bless Nigerian people. Have a wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdallah.
In fact, Abdallah just summarized it. As we talk about insecurity, it boils down to lack of employment. In fact, I think it was this guy from Lugbe, remind me his name. Vincent from Lugbe. In fact, he said a lot of things that I can relate to. Sincerely speaking, in fact, I have had people, not two, asking me some questions that relate to what he said. I said, like, with all this your smartness, you're supposed to the cash out now. You should understand what it means with cash out. So a lot of people, you find out you did all you could do in school, graduated with a very good grade, yet you come out begging for food to eat.
That's why people say things like school na scam, which were not even supposed to be seen.
Which is not supposed to be seen, because if you graduate those days, you know where it is painful. This crop of leaders that we have today, in their days, during their days as in their days or their early days, as you are graduating on the day of convocation, just the only offense you commit is to come out with a good grade. They are picking you from there. Your parents will even be begging to see you. They are picking you from there, giving you jobs. In fact, companies will be offering you jobs as in begging to be the one to take you. Just come out with a good grade.
These days, you're
first class.
You're overqualified.
We can't pay you. Come on.
Mr. Sele, let's just go on a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. In case you're just tuning in, this is Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. Do not touch your radio. Stay with us.
At Bright FM, We believe our success is built on the strong relationship we have with you. Your trust and support have been instrumental in helping us bring the best content to our listeners every day. Whether you're a local business, a brand, or an organization, your collaboration with us means a lot. As a token of gratitude, we want to remind you that we are here for you. Luke Triber Automobile, Jarrell, Sinach, Ghana, MC Mitty, Chooks the General, Funny Bone, Shortcut, Africans in Diaspora Union, Mr. Emmanuel, Wine Shop Abuja, Mr. Mushid, Cloud O, Evangelist Gideon Akande, Revelation of Truth Ministry, Mr. Tinto Caleb, C-Boss Musica, Mrs. Phoebe, Mama Yambu, Bishop St. Augustine Ministry, Buildings and more. Thank you once again for being such an important part of the Bright FM family. Together, let's continue to create amazing experiences for our listeners and make a positive impact in our community. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You should be here with me.
So, like, does the radio stop when you get into a car accident? Or are you just sitting there like,
I'm a savage, yeah. Classic.
Let's go.
What up, man? It's Sierra. That's right.
Yeah, it's your boy Chameleon.
Yo, what up? This is Big Snoop Dogg.
Hi, this is the Pussycat Dolls.
Music, please.
Watermelon sugar high. I got hands for, I get bands for.
Hey, this is Carrie Hilson, and you're listening to
Bright 98.7.
I am here since 3 days ago.
Like corruption happen at anywhere.
Corrupt with petrol. I prepare it with not a none of corruption with petrol. I see them for hotel, I see them for market. And if you see them, you go know.
They say you get where them, then they embalm themselves, but me, I never go to that kind of place before.
Let's discuss the headlines and politics.
Going by the Senate Standing Orders of 2011 as amended, which is the genuine and authentic because it has never and it protects. Will you shut up?
Get involved. Air your opinions. In this republic, we don't turn off your mic. Join us on Bright Republic, weekdays, 8 a.m.
get ready.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is still Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. Let me just roll out the call lines one more time in case you want to be part of the conversation. 0808-704-1217. That's our call line, 0808-704-1217. To text us or send us a voice note on WhatsApp, 0901-615-0614. Let's take that number again, 0901-615-0614. Please do well to calling to share with us. Let's move forward to this story right here on Vanguard. FG plans to improve power supply with $750 million World Bank loan. Before we take that story, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello,
good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Your name?
Can you hear me?
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Ruben, and I'm calling from Lube.
Mr. Ruben from Lugbe, please go ahead.
Please, Auntie, my people. You see that budget where they won't pass, ba? That our budget where they won't pass for 2025, ba?
Yes, sir.
Please, make them not pass that budget.
Okay, what are your reasons?
Our reasons, Nigerians, we are begging them, let them use that money. That 25-something trillion where they won't go use, do budget. Make them use and build industries for Nigeria. We can survive this 2025. We won't answer with that budget. Because if Nigerians can pay 2-point-something trillion to release their loved ones, according to statistics,
that was yesterday's
that only when
story.
Yes, I think that was and today now they are saying that they want to give the youth and they want to build a skill acquisition for the youth to give them employment, right?
Yeah.
Make them use that money, build industry for youth. Make them not pass that budget name. Because Nigerians, we are already surviving without that their budget. Me, I don't work for government. I'm not working for government, and I don't pray to work for government. I'm self-employed. And by God's grace, a lot of Nigerians out there
who have been surviving, who their brothers are graduates and riding Okada. I think they are not surviving inside that budget. That budget is for them. Let me just be blunt with you, because that budget is for the legislative, executive, and the judiciary. The Gabadaya. It's not for Nigerians. Because when they pass that, just go mark this thing go and mark this thing that I'm saying today. If they pass that budget, they put it, that budget is being passed. Go and mark it. By this time next year, what will be happening now will be more worse to what will happen for 2025. So I think there are areas that we can generate money to survive. Nigerians have money. We have areas that we can generate money to survive. Make them use that money, build industry to each zone of Nigeria. One industry, if they can do it for youth, one industry for each zone. Nigerians can be employed in those industries without that their budget. We are taking them with the name of God. If they are truly sincere with themselves, if they are truly sincere with us, if they are truly sincere, then in their heart, they attach their heart and they know that they are sincere. Let them use those money and build industries for us.
Thank you.
Go to the Niger Delta. Go to the Niger Delta. When the Niger Delta we are refining oil, look at you call them militants. You are going to build a skill acquisition for engineers where they just hide. Engineers where they don't even read them for school. Who God don't even give the brain. Which kind of skill acquisition are you going to build for them? When they are refining oil, you call them militants. You start to destroy that one. They are refining locally. Okay, if you want to refine with that way that is refining internationally, how much are we selling the fuel that we are refining internationally? We have refineries that are functional. You went to the Niger Delta, you do. God will bless Yaradua. Anywhere where Yaradua is, God will bless Yaradua. Because if not for Yaradua, Nigeria by now, I think our government should have been. This one where they pump 1 point something million per barrel a day. Now it could be 100,000 barrels per day. Yeah. Because by that time, all the oil installations in Nigeria might have been dynamited. They could dynamite them, they could blow them off. If you come to the river, you could see the fuel, you could flow. They used to prefer that fuel to flow in the river than to go in the pockets of our politicians. That's my take. God bless you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ruben, on that one. And we've said it countless times, about the government setting up, industries. I just made mention of, revitalizing the Kaduna textile industry. I heard when I was in Kaduna, that's when I heard gist, about how that place was employing thousands, of people, of young people. There if it's for employment, right? With the way that young people are going, Nigerians are going, trying to fend for themselves, even with the way things are going, that if you enable them, they're good to go.
Just like I said, this budget, in as much as we applaud it, the budget lacked as in faith to speak to the key areas. Just like this last caller said, build industry. I think I've said it this morning already. Build industries.
Mr. Sele, I think this one is also relating to the tax reform bill. That's why the North are actually against it, because they are more of consumers than
production.
There are less production in those places. And if you want to tax a consuming state, you see that they'll actually fall. And Nigeria...
Your name and where you're calling from.
This is Mr. John calling back.
Okay, Mr. John, please go ahead.
Yesterday I called, that I want to make my own opinion concerning that police matter we discussed.
Oh, okay.
See, my sister, first way no chop, first way mama, they sell fast food, where they hungry, first way no chop, now they do longer truth for outside. You understand how much they pay our police? You understand? Compare with what the police they collect for other countries. Hello?
I'm with you.
You understand how much are they paying our police? Now, how much is the senator, ministers, House of Reps receiving? Why is it that police will not indulge in bribing and corruption? If they are paying police well, if police salary a month is 500,000, 400,000, my sister, if they indulge in that kind of situation, then we know what to do to them. The senator, 28 million every month, The police that is guiding you, how much are you paying the police? 70,000, 120, 150. You understand? That is where corruption started from. That's why I see the police, the DPO will give them a target. My sister, make I just tell you, if you dey travel, policeman say, hey, what you dey? If you get money, no only they give am. That body know the right statement too. If you get money, give am, make you waka your own get they go. Because like the way where our leaders sit up. You understand me? You the chop and the food, another person know the chop and the food. Not the wahala with that. If they crime, where say wetin would they drag this? Wetin be the minimum wage that they drag this? Labor first cost 450,000. Now they end for 70,000. Where all this back and front? Now they won't borrow money. If the country is okay, investors will come in. That is all. There is no need of you saying you want to create jobs. No need. Make your country okay. Investors will come in. Foreigners will come in. Create jobs. Then you will have your revenue from there. Then the economic of the country will be booming. But this one we say want to create job. Which job are we going to create? Before they will build a factory with that money. My brothers and sisters, before they will build a factory with that money, 8 years has already gone. Who are you going to hold? You understand? Just make the country okay. Then investors will come in and we should anything that they are doing, the people collecting tax, they should reduce the way they collect the tax. All these tax collectors, they should reduce the way they collect tax, they should reduce the way they impose tax on people and our custom. You will see that the country will move forward. If the custom charges is low, if bringing things is low, you will see how our economy will go forward. You understand me? They should promote the police, they should pay the police well. Army, how much is Army receiving recruit Army? That's where we are having the problem. Someone is guiding his court, is sitting well. So thank you, my sister.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, on that one. Let's just take the story and move forward. Now, the federal government has shifted its focus to the renewable energy sector to boost electricity supply to key sectors including education, healthcare, and agriculture. Now, with around 80 million Nigerians lacking electricity, the government aims to deploy mini grids to solve energy access problems in rural communities through the eHeart project. This initiative is expected to create sustainable economies and reduce rural-urban drift in Nigeria. Now, the government has secured significant funding for its renewable energy projects, including a $750 million loan from the World Bank and another $700 million from the African Development Bank. The Desert to Power project, funded by the AFDB, aims to harness sunlight in the northern region to generate renewable energy for communities. The Minister of Power, Adebayo, expressed optimism that these projects would impact at least 13 million Nigerians. The Rural Electrification Agency has already made significant progress in deploying renewable energy solutions, including the installation of 124 mini grids and 25,580 solar home systems. The agency's managing director, Engineer Abba Aliyu, noted that the renewable energy sector has received unprecedented attention and support from the current government. He urged state governments and private sector to take advantage of the various programs and opportunities in the electricity sector to ensure sustainable and quality power supply to Nigerians. I think we're going to take it from the last statement, Mrs. Elaya.
Yeah, I think that is a laudable one. If it will see implementation. If it will see implementation, I think I've said it over and over again, how electricity shouldn't actually be an issue in Nigeria if our government should look at the potentials in North, especially in terms of solar energy. And how, if we don't have
electricity problems, we will not even be complaining about fuel
exactly price. If they have looked, if this project has been looked at earlier, by now people wouldn't even care bother much about fuel price, because one beautiful thing about solar energy is that when you need light most is when there is heat, Abi. So you need your fan to be working, you need your AC to be working, and then in terms of production, the renewable energy is what most countries have gone into. Have in fact not. It is even late that we're just realizing it. Being situated in the tropical area, we should have been the front runner in terms of renewable energy. But it's not late. Let's hope it doesn't meet what most beautiful projects meet in Nigeria.
Kevin.
See, collecting loan, I always say, is not a crime. It's not bad because you need it to support the growth of a country. But the one issue we have in Nigeria is that they'll collect it and we don't see the result at the end of the day. Now, if they should implement it, it's going to really benefit because it's going to come back, it's going to yield a fruitful result when businesses are going well and, we don't need to depend on the petrol aspect and all. So it's a good one, but like I said, Nigeria no longer trusts whatever thing this government has to offer because we know that they are good at saying things, they are good at writing it down, but they are not good at implementing it. And even if they want to implement it, and even if they should say they want to implement it, it's still going to be for their own benefit. They are going to look for ways to actually benefit.
Exactly. To support, it's going to be in their own benefit. I think just like what you said. I think taking loan to sponsor a renewable energy is not the right way. Why not throw it open? There are individuals. I remember when this issue of solar energy was gaining ground. It's because of especially immediately after the inception of this government, when subsidy was removed and electricity bill was increased, people started looking in the direction of solar. So in fact, that was when we knew that there is an alternative energy. I remember then I made an attempt into getting into the business. And I was in fact I advised myself out of it. Why? Because if you look at what it takes, for instance, let's say a solar panel of let's say 600 watts. If you check out the price in China, for example, and then compare the price in Nigeria, you say you can buy it very cheap there. But when you now look at how much you use to ship it in and how much you paid custom, no custom first before you even get it to your shop. You better you advise yourself otherwise. So that is if government can encourage. That's why I said encourage as in medium scale business. If government can encourage individuals who have the finance by looking into what custom is doing to our business, then a lot of people will go there. And this power in I said it. Sorry, KB. I keep saying this. Like places in US, it is individuals that will install this solar and feed it back into the national grid. There are individuals that have never paid an electricity bill. It is government paying them. So why not encourage such environment? Why not create such atmosphere where individuals? I've had personal encounter with an individual who was coming to do that. Well, he said his fears, and truly it came to pass. He wanted to bring in to build what we call a solar farm. Start harnessing the sun energy and giving it back to the society and making money. But the situation, the economic policies in the country will not allow you to do that. So instead of governments borrowing a loan that you have to be paying interest to do that, why not encourage these individuals to come into it and take over the industry?
Mr. Sele.
My dear.
See, other countries support small businesses. Other countries, when they see that this person is capable of doing something,
they encourage you.
They support. Let's leave this light a little. Let's talk about those people that we see their videos on social media. They create something out of nothing.
Exactly.
Do we support them? If we can even start from there. Okay, I know of a friend that used carton to make gender actually worked in his house.
Imagine.
Helicopters that fly with carton. And when I think it was one technical school that saw him, that said, "Oh, we're going to support you and all and all and all." That's how they use the boy until at the end of the day,
his ambition was killed.
So if they can actually support those kind of people, then that is where your idea will come in. They look for people like that can produce this kind of light. Then we don't need to borrow. But we're living in a country where I don't want to say evil eyes, but we're living in a country where their main focus is just themselves, how to benefit.
Yeah, thank you, because you know why?
Because okay, now let me give you an example of this organization that I know. If they want to buy things for the office, the top people don't.
If you see, by the time, let's assume this government is even faithful enough to execute the project. If you see, if they finish the project with $700 billion, $700 million, Kebi. If we bring the project and bring an independent engineer to give quotation for the same project of 700 million, you will find out that 200 million will execute it, and you have change.
That's the thing. It's because
I've been privileged to work with some people, and you see how. Let me give an example. There was a project, as in for a particular of a state government. I won't mention name. That I was contacted to give a quotation for. Just a small maintenance project, and I gave, I think, 7-point-something million. And okay, fantastic. Okay, now because what I do, if I do my quotation, I convert it to PDF. I watermark it. The man said, okay, you know what? Go back to the original document, make it 15 million. Remember 7 points. He went to present it, and the people there said, no, put our own. He came back, make it 22 million.
That's the thing. If they can
find out,
stop,
as in what was added to the budget is times 2 of what the budget. What was added? So something of 7 point something ended up being presented as 25-point-something million.
Sorry, let's take.
And that is where we are.
Okay, please go ahead.
So the same thing will happen to this thing. They will go and borrow money from World Bank, borrow 700 million, execute a contract of, let's say, about 100 or 200 million, and then the rest is gone.
That's the thing. Like, if they can actually give room for the
let right just people, come and invest.
We are blessed with a lot of people that know all this. Solar, how to install solar and the rest. We are more than blessed.
We are more than blessed. We have people who can even build.
We have this mentality of we don't want to use our own people. We want other. And
no,
I'm sure that
I know why.
I'm sure
should I tell you why? If I tell you I brought an expatriate to come and do a job, and I paid him, let's say 2 million naira, I'm just using that for his job. You will say they will collect that. But if I told you it was Select that did it and I paid him 300,000, why you give to Select 300,000? You get it?
Yeah, they don't want us.
So they don't want us to grow, and also because using us will not allow them to make those.
So the right people in seats, they just push them away.
Yes.
Now let's take for example Ngozi.
Sorry. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Mr. Abdallah.
You have, thank you very much. In fact, you have enunciated almost everything. You will say instances.
It's as electric guard, Kevin.
Take China, for example.
Yes.
They started like that. And now, in fact, America is afraid of China.
Exactly.
That is why they kept on saying that they are going to put a lot of taxation on the goods they supply to their country.
Yes.
Because Americans, they like Chinese products. And Chinese on daily basis, because of their population, they utilize the population assiduously for the benefit of their own country. And they have need corruption from the board.
Exactly.
See, even if there was one example that was given, a pharmaceutical company produced a sort of drug that had impacted negatively on the lives
of the populace.
Yes, you know what they did? The chief executive and major directors there.
Yes.
Those of them that are at the helm of affairs were executed.
Yeah, executed. I heard it. Yes, I read this story.
They were executed.
Yes.
Because they say it's negligence with the lives of the people.
They didn't take lives of people serious.
In Nigeria, you can't hear it. They will not do that. In a situation where even judges would pass judgment
that some people should be hanged, should be killed by hanging and what have you, or by shooting. Nobody, even the governors will not even sign the warrant, death warrant. So that is the problem. You see, Nigerian people are very initiated, very creative, very innovative. Just like you have cited instances. In Bauchi, there was one man, before even people started knowing that they used to make solar to drive motor vehicles or what have you. The boy, because of his creative ability, he made his locally made a tricycle with solar, and he used it and park people in it and drive it. So this type of people, they are supposed to be encouraged, but who is going to encourage them?
Encouraging them?
Because they are from poor background. You see, there are so many instances like that of people creating so many important things that will have developed the nation, but nobody cares because of corruption.
Exactly.
And what you are saying about the blatant disregard to procurement policies, in fact, it is just a tip of the iceberg. I don't want to waste your time. Please, we'll keep on lending our voices to be heard to the listening ears. And by God's grace, we'll reach the promised land. God bless you and God bless the Nigerian people. Have a wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah. I appreciate you. Now, the first time I heard about harnessing sunlight, the person that was talking about it was talking about how that we have access to the Sahara Desert.
Yes.
You know, and how that if the Nigerian government decide that they are going to take this power issue seriously, you know, solar, that they would harness the amount of sunlight.
The Sahara Desert alone.
In the Sahara Desert alone, to make sure that they provide the necessary electricity that Nigerians need, you know. And we've said it time and time again on this platform, how important the electricity sector is, especially because this year alone, we cannot applaud the electricity sector. We cannot. How many times did the national grid collapse? If the national grid did not collapse, we will hear that people have gone to vandalize.
They vandalized one.
If it's not vandalism, it's debt. These people are owing these people, so we're not going to provide gas. So in turn, Nigerians that are paying for lights are not going to receive light.
To see light.
It's a lot. And now, if you don't have light, you have to now turn to fuel.
Exactly.
How much is fuel? So we've said it that if there is sufficient electricity, and every time we're talking about electricity, why isn't Ghana why isn't Ghana to give example?
Unfortunately.
Right? And I've said it that if there's sufficient electricity, businesses are going to thrive. There is no business that doesn't require electricity. Now,
one way or the other.
Now, this recent development that, you know, the government trying to improve power, you know, to focus on renewable energy sector, part of the key sectors they want to supply electricity to, we're looking at education, healthcare,
exactly,
all these sectors and several other sectors need electricity to thrive. And if sufficient electricity is provided, we're not going to be complaining about a lot of things. There's one caller that called in to talk about how part of the reasons why other governments are subsidizing electricity for their people is because electricity is a lot, and we cannot even pay for it if they said to pay for it.
Exactly.
Do you understand the point that I'm trying to make? And I don't know, when conversations like this come out, the only thing that we can hope for is for government to go ahead and fulfill their own part of the deal.
Exactly.
Sunshine, if
$750 million from World Bank and not that $700 million from African Development Bank. That's a lot of money.
Sunshine, the only thing I can tell you, Sunshine, is if this administration really want to do this, like really want to make sure that Nigeria has a stable light, we will do it. Because I'm asking myself, since we are supplying other country and they are having 24 hours light, please, which light are they using to supply that we are having the same issue? That we're not having the same issue? Because at the end of the day, I keep telling myself, all this thing is now business in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Because look at it, one way or the other, they want to use it and benefit. They just want to feed themselves. They just want to satisfy themselves at the detriment of we, the masses.
Exactly.
Because if it's not business, tell me why you don't want your nation to grow. If it's not you trying to benefit out of it, tell me why you don't want Nigeria that was once great to be greater.
You know, I kept saying
when we're blessed with everything.
Each time you suffer, there are people that are smiling to bank. So
we have voice notes on WhatsApp. Let's see if we can take the WhatsApp voice notes.
A very good morning.
Good morning
to you all in the studio, Mr. Saleh and Vitri. I want to comment on the electricity. That's the Minister of Power that is saying that they are going to borrow money for electricity. If you ask me, I see all that and anything that they are going to do just for their self-benefit, which the citizen cannot even benefit from it. And even though they are going to issue that out to people, I think it's going to be merely a gift to their own people, those ones that they are ready to comply with them in that issue of electricity. And this is a main issue that we have been facing for long, and which government cannot even fix it in this country. Lack of electricity have broke down the economy of these nations seriously, and they did not care. The only thing that they care to cut off a bill, a budget that only benefit them for their self and their families, and the citizens, they could not care about us. But nevertheless, and this issue, we have a lot of talented. We have, that is why the Americans and the US, Canada have been hijacking our doctors and all of us, which are we so blessed and talented. This is a country and which we have a individual that have a talent and skills. And whenever in Nigeria look at something once in other nations, and you will see him coming to the nations to make it useful by creative, and that thing will come perfect more than the other side, those people. And you see, and this is the kind of talent we have, but the government are not ready to support. They are not supportive to the talented one, those ones that they are ready to do the work. And I remember how people used to give a schedule of a scheme of work, which they are ready to give that their own estimate. You see, they give above of what they are looking for. So in that case, I didn't have anything to say, just to say God should bless this country, and one day let all this come to an end. So thank you so much. I remain good luck.
Thank you so much, Mr. Good Luck from Gwarimpa, for your contribution on that one. I think we have another voice note. Let's just take it. Okay, this voice note from Mr. Roberts. This voice note is, I don't know, it's silent, so we just have to move forward from it. Now, to just conclude on this issue so that we can move forward from it, the $750 million loan, from World Bank, and then the $700 million loan from African Development Bank. Like we have said it time and time again, getting loans is not a problem. We're looking at over 80 million Nigerians lacking electricity, and if Mr. Obasanjo is listening, I also know that he's one person that would also mention that maybe some parts of his community also maybe they are lacking stuff like this. So in rural areas, they need to have access to electricity, and if this initiative, these loans would provide electricity for them, I don't think is such a bad one. I mean, the Minister of Power is saying that this project is going to impact at least 13 million Nigerians. I think that's also okay. So hopefully the installation of 124 mini grids and 25,000 solar home systems would bring solution to these communities, to these rural areas, so that they can have access to electricity, right? So this program, we just hope that is sustainable. We also hope that to have quality power supply and Nigerians smile at the end of the day. I mean, that's all we can do, to just like basically remain hopeful. All right, so let's just touch this last story and just take a few more calls before we end it for this morning. The reps committee recommends removal of NECO 23 other MDAs from 2025 budget. This one is on Daily Post. The Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives has taken a bold step by recommending the removal of 24 ministries, departments, and agencies from the 2025 budget. Now, this decision was made due to the repeated failure of these MDAs to account for previous budgetary allocations and internally generated revenue. The committee, chaired by Bamidele Salam, unanimously agreed that these MDAs should be excluded from the budget until they provide necessary clarifications. The list of affected MDAs includes some notable institutions such as the National Examination Council, that's the NECO, University of Ibadan, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, and 21 others. These agencies have been given an ultimatum to appear before the committee and provide explanations for their financial dealings. The committee's decision is based on the financial regulation, which empowers the National Assembly to exclude any MDA that fails to account for their previous appropriations. The move is seen as a push for transparency and accountability in the management of public funds. Now, by excluding these MDAs from the budget, the committee aims to ensure that taxpayers' money is used effectively and efficiently. Now, the decision also highlights the importance of financial discipline and responsibility among government agencies. This is this one is good, but does it cut across?
No,
because I don't know how we're having this conversation, that I gave you money to do something in your department, and we're having issues about accounting for
what you have been giving money to do. Now
we allocate millions, trillions of naira to several sectors, and by the end of a section or a year, we're not seeing what you use the money to do, and you want another allocation. The previous one, how far?
Now, should it be only the MDAs? What about governors?
This is fantastic. I hope it touches.
Why won't they start with if I think they if that is why I agree with Kebi when she said the National Assembly is not actually performing their duties. If the National Assembly is performing their duties, I don't think we will come to a point where a governor is leaving the office and we now start probing him and start finding out how many billions, how many trillions he have cornered.
Depending on the party,
depending on the party.
We're not supposed to say something like, the House of Representatives have taken a bold step. This is their
duty. This is their duty that they have failed to do all the time. And if in fact this one self is even a pointer to their colossal failure, because where were they when all these MDAs misappropriated 2024 budget? Where were they when is it today that NECO that we started shouting about? What about JAMB? What about all other institutions that collect? Do you know how much children pay to check their results? What do they do with this money?
How much children pay? The
how many times?
What about the registration? How much do these children pay? And yet every year, these MDAs keep appearing in the national budget. So yes, I know Bamidele Salam anyway personally, and he's a man with integrity. But they should extend it to even the governors.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is
Miss Stanze, good morning to you. It's been a while.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good to hear from you.
Very fine.
Yes, please make it quick.
I think we have auditor general resolution. What is that? What is that?
What is that?
MBA and the You know they are pretty. If they are doing their role or playing their what they're supposed to do, that National Assembly will not be asking for that thing. They will not make part of detail. So National Assembly.
Exactly.
It's not National Assembly to start saying as they do. They want to. It's not being put. That's not their job. That's not to make law. They are not to do finance of the federation.
Exactly. They are doing the work of the
federation, not their job. What they should call it, have to call it the federation. What are they going to do NBA? I mean, what are they doing? That's what they should focus on the station. Not on the NBA. That's one. About the budget, so just let me come over about the budget. We are not of 13.8 trillion. And the exchange rate of 1,400, which means this will continue. What we are facing this year is going to continue. This exchange rate is very high. And the cost of the energy is very high. When we find a good drop, when it's going to drop, I thought they would have reduced the exchange so that this exchange rate of naira to dollar will reduce. Cost of the protection, whatever something, all the companies will not be taken out. Cost of energy, cost of production will come down. So when the exchange rate is also for 1,400, where is the price going to? How is the price going to drop? Which means what we are facing today, we are going to face next year. Yeah. And at the same time, cost of energy is also very high. So I don't understand though, this is not my own position.
Thank you.
We are going to sponsor the project for 13.8 trillion. This is going again for the very close. They are not going to come down because the size are not there at all. So I don't know where it's going to be next year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You know, Mr. Anze talked about the Auditor General of Federation.
Exactly.
When we're talking about transparency and accountability, our leaders have not gotten it right.
At all.
Because the average Nigerian doesn't know what is happening
at all
with how people are using people the citizens' tax. Because I mean, you're saying that this move is a push for transparency and accountability. Sometimes when these things, they come out to say these things, we praise them for doing their job. This is your job. I don't know. We're the ones that employed you to do this particular job. Give us feedback. There should be a place where Nigerians go maybe online to go and check.
Exactly.
How many MDAs did they allocate funds to? How much did they allocate to them?
How far have they gone with it?
Do? So that when we're holding accountable, we know who to hold accountable. Now they've mentioned some and said 21 others. The 21 others. what are the MDAs? This is a right step in the right direction, but I'm just saying that there are still other, sectors, other ministries, other departments, other agencies that we're seeing that the budgets that were allocated to them,
there is nothing to show for it.
Do you understand?
Yes. Not as over the years. It didn't start today. Over the years, but the budgetary allocation has been going to this MDA.
A lot of people need to come in for questioning.
Exactly. That's the office of the Auditor General have failed
regarding the use of budget. How much did we give to you?
What did you do with it? Exactly.
Nigerians need explanation. We need transparency. We need accountability. 2025, another budget will come out. Another loan will come out. How we use it, because that's the thing that we've been saying. It's not about the loans. It's not about the allocations.
How did you use it?
How we using it? So now these people have come out again, but it's okay that the reps have already said these people remove them first. When they tell us how they use their money, then we'll now start seeing if we're going to allocate budget to them again. But there are still several other sectors, and departments and ministries that should be removed so that they will give us an explanation.
Another question I ask: removing them from the budget, removing them from the allocation, will it affect the budget? What happens to what has been allocated to them? Is a question we answer when next we see.
Please, let's round up on this conversation. Kirby, your last take.
Well, what I would just say is that we should be patriotic to our country, because that's the only way we can make Nigeria grow if we really want to see Nigeria great again.
Thank you, Mr. Sele.
My only concern is that the body language of this administration is not showing what they are saying. They should do what they say and say what they do. Nigerians are dying. Let's see their body language, not just telling us that this economic policy will. Let it start having effect. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sele. I appreciate you for that one. Shout out to you, Kebi. Thank you so much for your thoughts and perspectives this morning. And that brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. To all of our callers for this morning, Mr. John from Otako was our first caller for this morning. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Mr. Steve, Mr. Obasanjo, thank you so much. Mr. Vincent, Mr. Abdallah, Mr. Ruben from Lugbe, thank you so much. Mr. Nze from Garike, appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're our last caller for this morning now. Good luck from Guarimpa on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for finding time to text us this morning. And then Mr. Robert from Cotonou, your voice note, we had issues playing your voice note this morning, but again, thank you so much for finding time to reach out to us this morning. Please do not touch your radio, because OB of Sports will be taking over next to make sure that he gives you all of the details on the world of sports. Please, by all means, this is the Ember season. Make sure to stay safe and stay bright. I'll see you, but that will be tomorrow.
And now, 24/7 Christmas music. Halloween was yesterday. Christmas!
Bring on the Christmas music.
Merry Christmas!
We're three kings with the diamond rings, bringing gifts coming from afar.
Do you think the cows were like, "Hey Jesus, welcome to Earth"? Or were they like, "Hey Joseph, this kid's laying in my dinner"?